You ever have one of those mornings where you know something's about to go wrong? Yeah, that was me, standing in line at the post office, coffee in hand, waiting for a simple package. The place smelled faintly of cardboard and disinfectant, that weird mix every post office seems to have. I was halfway through scrolling emails when the door swung open hard enough to make the bell jingle twice, and in walked her, Karen, HOA president, queen of the clipboard, keeper of unnecessary rules. She strutted in, wearing that same sun hat she wore to every HOA meeting, sunglasses indoors like she was dodging paparazzi. She didn't even glance at the line. She just marched straight to the counter, right in front of everyone. "Excuse me," she said, slapping a manila folder onto the counter. "I'm here to pick up all the HOA correspondence. I'm authorized." The postmaster, an older guy named Rick, who'd worked there since the 90s, looked up over his glasses. Calm. Tired. The look of a man who'd seen enough nonsense to fill 3 lifetimes. "Ma'am," he said, voice level. "We can only release mail to the person or entity it's addressed to." Karen huffed. "I am the HOA. All mail comes to me first for review." Rick blinked slowly, like his brain was buffering. "That's not how federal mail works, ma'am." The whole room went still. Even the guy behind me stopped pretending to check his phone. Karen's voice got louder. "I'll have you know, I run this neighborhood. You'll release that mail to me, or I'll have your job." Rick stood up straighter. "Ma'am, threatening a federal employee isn't a good idea." You could almost feel the temperature drop. Karen crossed her arms. "I'll call the HOA board. They'll handle this." That's when Rick smiled. The kind of small, patient smile that means you're about to regret what you just said. He pressed a button under the counter. A quiet buzz echoed from the back. Karen didn't notice. She was too busy muttering something about neighborhood integrity. A few moments later, a door in the back opened and another postal worker came out. Not with mail, but with a phone in hand and a firm look. Rick's tone didn't change when he said, "Ma'am, please stay where you are. Authorities have been contacted." Karen froze mid-sentence. The silence was delicious. And I swear, for the first time ever, the post office felt exciting. The air in the post office turned thick. That strange silence before something truly unhinged happens. Karen stood frozen for a split second, then laughed. A sharp, fake kind of laugh that echoed off the linoleum floors. "Oh, you've got to be joking," she said, flipping her hair like this was some kind of prank show. "You called the authorities? For me?" Rick didn't flinch. "Ma'am, federal mail tampering is a serious matter. Please wait here." Karen jabbed a finger toward the counter. "I'm not tampering with anything. I'm just collecting community correspondence. As HOA president, I have every right to—" "Actually," I cut in before I could stop myself. "You don't." Every head turned toward me. I instantly regretted opening my mouth, but it was too late. Karen spun around, her eyes narrowing like she'd just spotted a spy. "And you are?" I raised an eyebrow. "One of the people whose mail you're trying to steal." Her jaw tightened. "Steal? Don't be ridiculous. I'm keeping our neighborhood organized. You should be thanking me." Rick muttered under his breath. "That's not how any of this works." The postal worker with the phone whispered something to Rick, then quietly stepped back into the office. I could see her mouthing, "They're on the way." Karen, meanwhile, was pacing like a caged tiger. Her sandals slapped the floor as she ranted to no one in particular. "This is exactly why our neighborhood's gone downhill. Lazy people, no respect for structure. I'm the only one who keeps things running." Someone in the back of the line coughed. "Lady, you're in a post office, not a courtroom." That only fueled her fire. "You'll all see. The HOA bylaws give me full authority over neighborhood communication." Rick finally looked up again. Calm, steady, the way a man looks when he's about to end a storm with one sentence. "Ma'am, the HOA doesn't outrank federal law." Karen blinked. "Excuse me?" "I said," he repeated slowly, "the United States Postal Service doesn't answer to your HOA." The tension cracked like a gunshot. A few people snorted, trying not to laugh. Karen's face went red, her lips twitching like she wanted to scream, but didn't know what to say first. Then, outside, we heard the distinct whoop of a siren. It wasn't loud, just that single warning chirp that made every head turn. Karen's eyes went wide. You can't." Rick simply said, "Please remain calm, ma'am. You'll have a chance to explain it to them yourself." And that's when Karen did what no one expected. She bolted for the door. Karen's heels clacked against the floor as she stormed out, practically knocking over a rack of bubble mailers. Ma'am, Rick called after her, but she was already halfway to the parking lot, sun hat wobbling like a flag of chaos. A few of us shuffled toward the glass doors to see what would happen next. She yanked open her car door, that same white SUV she bragged about at HOA meetings, and threw her folder into the passenger seat. The siren chirped again, closer this time. 2 police officers pulled up, lights flashing softly. One stepped out, a tall woman with a calm but serious look. "Morning, ma'am," she said evenly. "We got a call about a disturbance involving mail theft?" Karen's tone switched from furious to syrupy sweet in an instant. "Oh, this is all a misunderstanding," she said, laughing nervously. "I was just trying to collect the HOA's mail. I'm the president, you see." The officer nodded slowly, glancing toward Rick, who had stepped outside with a clipboard in hand. "Sir, can you confirm what happened?" Rick explained everything, her demand to take all the mail, her threats, and the moment she tried to leave when they called authorities. Karen interrupted every few sentences, waving her hands. "That's not true. He's twisting it. I was just trying to help." The officer held up a hand. "Mom, please let him finish." That tone, polite, calm, but edged with authority, shut her up faster than I thought possible. I stayed by the doorway, pretending to scroll on my phone, but everyone could see I wasn't missing a word. When Rick finished, the officer turned back to Karen. "So just to be clear," she said, "you attempted to claim multiple pieces of mail that weren't addressed to you." Karen puffed up her chest. "I'm the HOA president. It's my duty to oversee communications. Our residents need order." The officer's brow furrowed. "Ma'am, that's not a legal reason to possess or intercept mail. That's a federal offense." Karen blinked. A what?" "Mail tampering," the officer said matter-of-factly. "Under federal law." Karen's jaw dropped. "You can't be serious. I wasn't tampering, I was just..." Rick quietly added, "trying to take 37 letters and 5 parcels addressed to different residents." The officer sighed. "Ma'am, I need you to step out of the vehicle, please." Karen's expression flipped again, this time full panic. "Wait, hold on. You can't just arrest me. I'm respected in my community." The officer gave a small shrug. "Then your community can wait while we sort this out." Karen finally stepped out, trembling with outrage. "This is harassment. I'll have the entire police department reviewed by the HOA." The second officer, who'd been quiet the whole time, muttered under his breath, "Good luck with that, ma'am." A few of us couldn't help but laugh, quietly but loud enough. Karen turned toward us, face red as a stop sign. "This isn't over," she yelled. But as they began asking her questions beside her SUV, the only thing that was over was her authority. The next morning, the HOA Facebook page was on fire. Notifications stacked like dominoes, hundreds of comments, arguments, screenshots, and rumors. Someone had uploaded a blurry photo from the post office. Karen outside her SUV, mid-yell, with 2 officers standing beside her. The caption read, "HOA president detained over mail incident. You can't make this stuff up." I sat at my kitchen table, coffee in hand, scrolling through the chaos. Some defended her, saying it was a misunderstanding. Others were less forgiving. Rick, the postmaster, had filed an official report. It didn't lead to an arrest, but Karen was cited and warned. Any future mail interference would result in federal charges. The best part? The HOA board called an emergency meeting that night. I showed up out of pure curiosity. The community center smelled like burnt coffee and tension. Karen sat at the front, arms crossed, lips pressed tight. Gone was the smug confidence. She looked cornered. The vice president of the HOA, Marla, cleared her throat. "Karen, the board has reviewed the events at the post office. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we proceed?" Karen stood up slowly. "Yes, actually, I was trying to help. Our HOA correspondence was being mishandled. I was protecting our neighborhood from disorganization," someone from the back whispered. "By stealing everyone's mail." The room chuckled, low but enough to make her flinch. Karen's voice trembled. "You people don't appreciate leadership. You think this neighborhood runs itself." Marla's tone stayed calm. "We appreciate leadership, Karen. We just don't appreciate overreach." Then she unfolded a paper, the kind that ends things officially. "The board has voted to suspend you from your duties as HOA president, effective immediately." You could hear the collective exhale from the room, the sound of relief. Karen stared, mouth open, as if the world had betrayed her. "You can't fire me. This HOA needs me." Marla gently said, "We'll manage." Karen grabbed her purse, muttered something about lawyers and respect, and stormed out. Her heels clicked down the hall, fading into silence. For a moment, no one spoke. Then someone started to clap. Slowly at first, then everyone joined in. It wasn't about celebration, more like closure. Later that week, I went back to the post office. Rick was sorting letters behind the counter. He looked up when he saw me and grinned. "Quiet week so far," he said. I chuckled. "Guess Karen's taking a break from federal operations." He laughed, that dry, weary kind of laugh only postal workers can pull off. Let's hope it stays that way. As I walked out, the morning sun hit the glass door, and for once, our little neighborhood finally felt peaceful. No drama, no shouting, just quiet, at least until the next HOA meeting. Don't forget to subscribe to Karen Edition for more dramatic real-life HOA and Karen stories. Like the video if you enjoyed watching Karma in action, and tell us in the comments, which moment impressed you the most? We love hearing your thoughts. Next part coming, son.